I want to bring this book to your attention. The New Testament documents, are they reliable? Written by the great F.F. Bruce, one of the great British scholars of the New Testament. And in his last chapter, he talks about, in particular, he talks about Tacitus and also Suetonius and also Pliny the Younger. And these three speak of the Messiah, that he was real, that he is historical, that he is not a mythological, non-existent personage. Tacitus was born between 52 and 54 A.D. He wrote the history of Rome under the emperors. And he talks about how Nero was looking for scapegoats because there was a rumor going around that he had set Rome on fire. So he was looking to find somebody to substitute for himself as the culprit. And so this historian refers to the believers, and he calls them Christians. And he refers to the Messiah as Christus. He says, was executed by sentence of the procurator Pontius Pilate when Tiberius was emperor. So there it is. I mean, what more do you need? But if you do need more, you got Suetonius. He talks about the great fire of Rome, and punishment was inflicted on these so-called Christians. And then you have Pliny the Younger, the governor of Bithynia in Asia Minor. He writes a letter to the Emperor Trajan, and he wants to know how to deal with these people, these believers. And he says that they don't appear to be doing anything wrong, but we got to do something with them, and he's looking for advice on how to deal with them. So these people on the internet who are saying that he never existed, the Messiah never existed, that he's just a fictitious character, some kind of phantasm that somebody dreamed up of somebody's imagination. This is the height of it is only an ignoramus could come up with something like this. This would be like saying there was no such person as George Washington. You can't say that. We have too much historical evidence that he existed. We know a lot about George Washington, as a matter of fact. And so, yes, the New Testament documents are reliable. They're the most reliable text of antiquity. We have more copies. We can with textual criticism, we can get the actual autograph copy down to 99.99999% accurate. No major doctrine is at stake. It is a reliable, accurate document. The fact is that if you're going to try to attack the faith of the Messianic Jews, and by the way, the Judaism, after the destruction of the temple, the post-Korban Judaism is a completely different religion. It is a hybrid religion, which has to stumble along without the temple, without the blood sacrifices, without the priesthood, and without all the important aspects that really defined what Judaism was. It's a Johnny-come-lately hybrid, whereas the authentic Judaism of Acts chapter 21, you see, brother, how many there are who believe. These are Torah-observant Jews. They've been misinformed. They don't, they believe that you, Rav Shaul, now that you're here in Jerusalem, you should go with them to the temple and show that you're still that you still are frum, Haredi, and so he does, and so Luke is making it very clear that even though there was an outreach to the Goyim, the faith was still Judaism, still Haderech, still the way, still Judaism. In fact, predating the so-called rabbinic Judaism. This is the pristine, authentic Judaism, which does have the Kohen Le'olam al Divrati of Melchizedek, which does have the Korban Pesach lamb, which does have the blood sacrifice, the Mizbeach that the Moshiach gave, which does have the Moshiach, the Rebbe Melech HaMashiach. In other words, the authentic Judaism with its indispensable ingredients is there, and God preserved the writings of the elders. I'm talking about the book of Yehuda, where he says the emunah, once and for all, delivered to the Kadoshim. This is the authentic Mazorah, handed down generation to generation as the authentic teaching of the Messianic elders of the true Messianic Judaism, the true faith of God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So the Orthodox Jewish Bible is meant to capture this document in a way that Jews can see it is the true Jewish faith. Amen.